Welcome to the Ugly Truths. Jamie and Stephanie talking about Top Chef season 21. Okay, so it has been 3 weeks since we have recapped the show. A lot has happened, but not a lot has happened, is the way I kind of describe this season. Ugh. It is a slog, to say the very least.
You put it, I can't remember if it was a text or a message, but you said something about dry toast.
Yes.
It is dry toast.
It's been
so boring.
It's been really difficult to get through, and I've been trying to figure out why. Like, what is it exactly?
I think it's everything.
There's just so much. I do think that there's some production issues, but apparently Top Chef historically has production issues, which I didn't really know.
Well, I mean, they're Emmy nominated, which gets me. They've been nominated many times.
The only season that I can recall that deserved a win would be season 20, when they did the World
Was that the World
Master?
Star?
Yes.
That was a really fun.
I think they dumped a crap ton of money into it.
I do too.
And I think they really did it well.
Well, it was all shot abroad, and they... Yeah.
The challenges, the sponsorship, everything was very elevated.
Big.
It was elevated. It was beautiful.
The chefs were elevated.
Everybody was dressed beautifully. Their accommodations, the food ingredients, everything was next level. Now so I understand being less than impressed with when we're going back to a regular season.
Yeah, perhaps.
But that's not it.
No, because there's been other seasons. I really enjoyed the Kentucky season, and I can't remember which one that was. And I think
it was like 16 or 17.
17, I think it was. Yeah. I didn't think I would like that season.
A lot of people were like questionable about it.
I was too.
But it's the Heartland.
But it ended up being really good.
It was.
And they really did some different things. You know, they really, like they grew their own gardens that year.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was really cute. Yes. They did
that in Texas too.
They've done it a couple times.
No, they visited a garden. Yeah.
No, this one they actually, when they started filming, everybody planted their own seeds. And by the finale or towards the end, they all had little sprouts and plants and they had to use them. It was awesome. Cute. It was really
cool.
Cute.
So we've had many eliminations. Restaurant Wars came and went. That was terrible.
Like I barely even remember it. And it's usually one of the most memorable.
It's supposed to be memorable, but the reality is that the concepts of both restaurants were not great. The food was subpar. There was some glimmers of brilliance here and there, but overall, I felt like they were just trying to find the least hideous person to pick. Yeah. And so I wonder if the judges noticed this. Like, do you think that Tom and Gail specifically recognize that this isn't a great?
I don't know. Maybe they do because they've been doing it so long.
They
probably have a vibe. I think everybody's missing Padma. And I said this last time we recorded, but that Padma has mentioned nothing about Top Chef. Nothing about wishing my colleagues well or yay, so excited for Top Chef and Kristen Kish, you know.
She did do a little Kristen Kish thing before the show kicked off.
I didn't see it,
but she hasn't since.
Nothing. And I don't know if that's
I think that's on purpose.
Is it an NDA? Did she sign something?
No, I think it's more like I don't want to pull from the new...
Maybe, but she was an executive producer.
I know.
For years, decades.
You had a really interesting take. We were talking about it about a week ago. You were talking and said that you think that there was maybe some contract issues.
Something.
And she's just like, it's this or nothing. And they said, it's nothing. And she's like, all right, bye.
Yeah, and they had to have bought her out somehow. She started her own lingerie line.
I didn't know that.
Yes, she's been shooting all of the, what do you call it when you're, all the promo stuff.
Yes.
She puts it on her Instagram and she's like, it just feels so weird to be modeling my own lingerie. Right. I love it,
Yes.
And so she's clearly going off on her own path to do her thing.
I'm happy for her.
I am too.
I love
There's
watching
nothing
her.
she's not going to touch that's not going to be successful because she's amazing.
So amazing. Anyway, so back to Top Chef. So yes, we've had 3 weeks. So this last one was probably one of the worst challenges I've seen in the history of Top Chef. And there's been some terrible ones like, now, the 3 judges were on the Bravo's, the Andy after show thing.
What Happens Live?
Yes. And all 3 judges were on that. And I watched it because it was such a terrible challenge. It was the fish boil.
Oh, I hated it. They hated it.
It was so terrible.
It was so boring and stupid.
Now they
did throwing kerosene on the fucking thing. That was the dumbest thing.
And over.
I'm like, what is this?
And over. How many times do we have to see him?
I feel like
fling his arm like he's throwing a baseball.
And they're doing music and it's like...
And how many times do you have to freaking cheer for this
man? I feel like I'm watching Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas.
Stupid.
It was dumb.
So...
And every chef is like, this goes against you don't boil fish.
And it was funny.
It's awful.
Even the guy that's from the Midwest, he's like, I hate these. I hate them so much. I mean, like, and they're like, can you get on board? He's like, I cannot.
Dan?
Yeah, Dan the man. Or he's all, no.
I feel like Dan could possibly win. Even though he's so not exciting.
You know what? I would agree. He's more, you know what? At least he wobbles around and falls occasionally.
He wobbles around and his food has been consistently at the top. It's not stellar by any
tasty,
means. But yeah.
So with that being said, so there's a dish with Kish. There's yet another after
I've watched
show.
it.
Why are they?
I've watched it like twice. I haven't watched all of them.
So
I was like, I'm done with this.
She did the post fish boil thing.
And
she said every single chef did not bring their broth to a roiling boil. And that's why all the fish was so bland. And I'm like, if every single chef messed up the execution of this challenge, it wasn't explained properly, or you didn't give them the proper tools to do it properly.
Right.
So the fact that anybody was eliminated at all is a travesty.
I agree.
Not to mention, by the way, Sue was eliminated.
Yeah.
They apparently, even though he had amazing butter or whatever he made, his food was so disgusting. They just said you have to leave, right?
Right.
Freaking Manny, Stephanie, Manny. Why is this boy
He's
still
just skating by the skin of his teeth?
And the concern I have is he didn't even. Mylin was his. They had these champions come and shot for them, which
they
was
were
weird.
What do they call all-stars?
Yeah, the all-stars came, and so Mylin was Mandy's, and he's like, well, I'm going to do fish, I'm going to do
she
rice,
even told him,
and I'm going to do guacamole. She goes, guacamole's not a side dish.
She's like, it's not enough.
It's not enough. And he's like, well, I just, I want to do what I know. And she's like, okay. And that fucker got through. Gail almost said, Stephanie, I swear to God, she corrected herself, but I could see it on her tongue. She almost said, Manny's dish is the least Top Chef dish I have ever seen, but she changed it to that I've seen on this competition.
This season,
because it was on a styrofoam plate.
I mean, it looks like something you could have got at our local Mexican restaurant, right?
I would send that crap back if I got that from Adalberto's.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, I'm like, what is this?
I'm like, but for me,
white
they're
rice
all
with
like
flecks of
his
corn?
was the worst, but the rest
terrible.
of them were not much better.
I agree.
None of them were
completely
like
agree.
That one chick, I can't think of her name. She's the light skinned African American girl.
Michelle?
Is that her name?
I think so.
Okay. She made some kind of deep fried hamburger thing that she had to throw in the fryer because she ran out of time.
Yes. And it was raw.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't eat it.
And I'm like,
that was the quick fire.
This is these are the top 6 chefs.
I know.
And we're still
Stephanie, we still have 6 people. I'm like, when is this going to end? When is the show going to end?
Did they do the double elimination yet? Because they said we can get rid of 2 of you if we want.
They double eliminated already. They got rid of Amanda and Laura.
Oh, that's right.
And so on that note.
And they keep bringing them back. This is the most time they've brought them back.
Right.
Like, how many times?
So Sue was eliminated from the fish boil. So he went to Last Chance Kitchen. And obviously we do all spoilers here.
Yes.
So it was Amanda, Sue, and Laura. So the 3 of them competed. Sue was eliminated immediately, and then it was Amanda and Laura, and they were competing to come back into the competition. This is the final. Oh,
you know what? I did watch it. Now that you mention it, because I thought Amanda might get it, but she didn't.
Amanda made gummy gnocchi.
Yes, she did.
Fool. Why do they make gnocchi or risotto? I don't
Desperation.
Get it.
They're trying so hard to do something amazing, and
then Laura just did a beautiful bright crab salad with veggies, and she easily won.
Yeah,
and I know this is an unpopular opinion, apparently, but I like Laura.
I don't not like her.
I like Laura. I mean, a lot of people are like, she's so selfish. She just takes everything. And she's the one.
In a competition.
She's the one that took half the budget.
I remember.
All that. I'm like, well, I mean, if you're not going to say anything.
I mean, here's the thing about Laura. I don't not like her. It's not that. I don't find any of them exciting. No. I don't find any of them so personable that I like them regardless. There's just nothing, anything. And I'm like, I'm not drawn to any of them. I could give a shit who wins at this point.
I would love to blame the editing, but the reality is that everyone other than Gail and Tom are boring as hell.
I agree.
All of them.
And even Tom is a little...
He's keeping it reserved for a reason.
Well, he's always like that.
Yes.
I think part of what it is with Tom is I think he's kind of a shy person by nature. Yeah. And Top Chef has thrown him into this huge... where he has to be personable. And I think that's probably who he is, but I think he struggles with being on camera.
Sure.
Gail is a natural, obviously.
Love Gail.
I love Gail.
I know that you and I agree that she probably can't host her own show.
I don't think she can pull her weight completely alone.
She's great where she's at.
And she's so beautiful, my God.
Stunning. And you know what? They're dressing her and they're really showing off.
Finally.
They're showing off her chest.
Her boobs.
Oh my God.
Well, she had a baby, to be fair.
She looks amazing.
She's really grown into her body.
She looks so good.
She's gorgeous.
So the
Everyone's
Bravo.
like, Padma who? Hello, Gail.
What is the stupid show called with Andy?
Watch What Happened Live.
Watch What Happens Live. So
I struggle with Andy.
We all do. But so has all 3 judges on, and this was after the fish boil. And he's asking them all the questions. You either answer the question or you drink.
Right.
And so, you know.
He always does that.
Kristen refused to answer anything, which is what a surprise.
Yeah.
But
she's like, I'm not losing this brand new job I just got.
Well, not only that, but it's like she can't win. If she talks to any crap about anything.
Padma used to, though.
Yeah, but Padma is different. Kristen is new. And so she's like, I'm not talking crap about anybody or anything because I cannot win.
Right.
Whereas Gail and Tom can talk a little more crap and get away with it.
Yeah.
So at the end, they're like, is there any challenges that you didn't like? He's like, yeah, in season 2 when they had to break open a piece of ice to get to their food. It was dumb. And I'm like, can we talk about the fish boil yet? How stupid that was.
Right?
But no.
It was probably his idea, so he can't say so.
All I know is that Wisconsin is a bust. I'm sure that the state is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of things. I thought the Native American challenge was actually nice.
I did too.
That was probably the best challenge
That was probably
they've had.
the best one.
Yes.
I agree.
Best one.
Because that one actually made them think.
Even the quick fire with the cranberries. Like, that was good too.
And actually, the Native American one, that was some of the better food.
Yes,
because
it
they
was.
really had to pull from their imagination and their creativity to make something.
So it's like and listen, I know all of these chefs are very talented.
Oh, of course.
But they're not show worthy personality wise. And I don't know if it's editing or if there's their personalities.
Maybe a little of both.
I was telling Daryl, I said, I think, and this is just my opinion. Everybody's so mentally aware of the toxicity of the culinary world now. So you have all these chefs who are younger, obviously, and they've learned we don't talk disrespectfully. We don't scream at people. We don't do that anymore. So now you have a lot of very moderate personalities. Agreed. Now, it's great for the real world, but for TV, it's boring not so great.
Well, I mean, and I don't
So you got to figure it out. You have to change the formula. If you're going to have mentally well people, then you're going to have to change the formula.
Well, I agree.
So we can see their actual delight for personalities.
And here's the thing with Wisconsin. It was probably fine to maybe do the first handful of episodes, but they should have moved on by now.
Yeah.
And they've done that in the past.
I don't know why we're still here in the same
They didn't keep
county.
them in Wisconsin all the time. You know, they would move them. They'd go to, okay, now we're going to go to LA. You know, when they were in LA, they went to San Francisco.
Right.
And then they went and traveled across the pond.
Basically, from what I've read, they've stayed in the same county. In Wisconsin.
So boring.
They haven't even moved out of the area. They haven't gone to other parts of the city.
If I was a contestant, I'm like, okay, I finally make it to and this is what I get.
I get to stay in.
I have a hotel in Wisconsin the entire time.
I get to stay in Door County for 9
my God.
weeks.
There's not even what there's
what
not
are we
even
supposed
fine
to do?
dining or like places. Yeah, no.
And they've really relied on the tourism of Wisconsin and Saratoga water to get them through this season.
So
like, how
boring.
many times do I have to see them glug down?
Well, they've done
water?
that always, yeah, but you're right.
Unbelievable.
There hasn't even been that great of sponsorship. I haven't even seen any.
Just those two. I just wonder if it's because, like, well, where's Padma? Then I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not investing with your brand new.
We don't even know what this is.
Yeah, this is probably going to suck. So we'll see how it goes.
I will say that because I don't think like this, I was unaware of how much racist vitriol Kristen Kish gets online. I had no idea.
I didn't either. I haven't read.
It's horrifying, Stephanie.
God.
Horrifying. There's nothing that they won't say about her.
That's awful.
From her ethnicity to her weight to her hair to her sexuality. I mean, it is endlessly merciless. If I was her, I would hire somebody and be like, I don't even want to know that I have social media. I don't even want to know about it.
I have.
It's horrifying.
It is horrifying. Well, I haven't
It's
read.
awful.
So I do think that, this is her premiere season, and I think that she will figure out her style for TV. I don't think fashion is necessarily the number one thing, but it's important. And I've seen Padma.
Yes, she's changed significantly.
Well, there were seasons where Padma was like, I can't believe I dressed like that the entire season. Like, what the hell was I thinking?
Right.
Well, and everybody does that. If you're on TV a lot, it happens,
you're
right?
You're learning.
We all look. And they keep putting her in overalls. And I'm like, why do you keep putting her in overalls? She's like 40.
Yeah, she's a woman.
And she's a woman and she's gorgeous.
She's beautiful. She's elegant. She's
is.
actually quite elegant with a very cute personality.
She does.
I still am not a huge fan of her being the lead, but
I'm not either, and I hate the way that she fawns over the other judges, like Tom and
she
Gail.
leans into their experience.
She feels really lucky to be there, and it's super obvious.
And I wish that she was a little more confident. But I mean, I've seen interviews with her where she's like, she's always fought with her confidence.
Of course, since day one, which is why I struggle with why did they hire her.
Indeed. So Laura's returning. So we still have just so many of these chefs. What are your predictions for top 3?
I think Dan will be in the top 3 for sure. I think that it wouldn't surprise me if Michelle was up there, although I think she deserves to be eliminated. I just of who's left,
right?
And Laura most likely.
Yeah, I think
Manny's not it.
God, when is that? You know what? I guess
he'll get eliminated.
Apparently, there's a scene from next week which I did not see, but somebody said he tries to make risotto again. I'm like, oh, thank God,
why?
He'll be eliminated.
He will be eliminated. He's not going to make it to the finals.
If he does, I will absolutely. This place is fixed.
Yeah.
It's rigged.
It is rigged, and I don't know. They've switched it up in past seasons where they have. You think there's only going to be 3 for the finale,
but they can't decide.
But they can't decide, so they let one person come, and then they get eliminated, or they this year it's only going to be 2. So you never know.
So I think my top would be Laura, Savannah, and
I forgot about Savannah
and Dan. But I think the dark horse is Michelle. She just has too many execution issues. I just don't think she. I don't think
she reminds me of that other chick that we.
Dawn.
Yes. Why? Why?
I just don't understand the inability to cook protein. She's a pit master.
Well, nobody hates her, and that's the thing.
She's very likable.
She's very likable.
I like her too.
Yeah, she's kind of middle of the road. She's won once or twice, so she's not terrible. But
and her food must taste good. But she can't cook a protein through to save her life, which is weird.
Honest to God. And she's just not that creative in my mind.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll be back to recap more exciting adventures of Top Chef. Bye. Bye.